How many of you know at least one proverb? Oh, wow. That's excellent. And how many of you use proverbs to think through the situations or events that you're going through in your daily lives? How many do that? Oh, excellent. Africa has had a long love affair with proverbs. And in fact, in Africa, we have so many proverbs. We have proverbs about proverbs. When I'm sure you've heard the proverb that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it also takes a lot of proverbs to raise a child. And the many people who raised me used proverbs to encourage positive behavior, to help me build a personality, to help me build positive attitudes. And I have become interested in something called life hacks. A life hack is simply an idea or a method or a process that helps you to do something better or to be more effective in what you do, or indeed just to enjoy your life a little more. Now, having visited a lot of life hacks websites, I have come to look at proverbs in a different way, in a new light. And my conclusion is that proverbs are actually life hacks, and we should be preserving them for that purpose. Now, when I was growing up, my parents always used proverbs to explain to me the meaning of events or circumstances, and also to clarify my actions and ideas and what the consequences of those would be. As a child growing up, I also remember one of my earliest memories when I was about the age of 8 was my father hanging up a painting in our study playroom. This painting was of a young girl about the same age as me, sitting on a stool, reading a book which was open in her lap. In his own handwriting, my father had written a proverb which he put within the frame of the painting, just below the painting. The proverb communicated to me, even to my 8-year-old mind, very clearly and strongly, that it is always important to balance your life and your work and play. So throughout my school days, university, and in fact even in my adult life, that proverb worked as almost like a magical echo in my mind, reminding me and sometimes even instructing me to fully commit myself to the work that was at hand, because I always knew I'd find the time, I'd make the time for play. What I learned from that is that a single proverb can have a lifelong effect on your life. I love proverbs because of their powerful imagery and their beautiful abstraction. So in Proverbs, a cowardly hyena gets to live long, and crabs understand the language of the stream, and butterflies dance with their axes, and rivers embrace swimmers. I love Proverbs because they spring from the living data around us, and as means of storage and information transference, Proverbs, for me, are way up there with Google search and Wikipedia. I think of Proverbs as priceless parcels marked express that we can pass on from person to person, and in fact, send through time. My grandmother taught me a lot of Proverbs, and she, in turn, was taught by her mother, and she, in turn, was taught by her mother before her. And though those Proverbs traveled all those generations, I found that a lot of the Proverbs were still relevant to my life. What that taught me is that everything and nothing changes, and human experience is ageless. Now, I grew up in this city, but my parents always insisted on sending us back to the village, to my grandmother's village, for our school holidays. And in the village, proverbs and information passed from one person to the other like a living internet. And from my perspective now, where I view Proverbs as life hacks, the village was almost like a life hacker's heaven, a life hacker's website. And the old grandfather and the old grandmother sitting on the read mat, they were the bloggers, blogging and commenting every day and putting out the proverbs. They were the administrators who administered the archives. The cousin, the uncle, the nephew, the friend, the parent, those were the life hackers who were always throwing proverbs around. Proverbs were carried in conversation. Proverbs were carried in admonition. They were carried in encouragement. And there were live chat groups as well. And these chat groups were that noisy group at the well, drawing water. That chat group was the bathing party at the river. That chat group were the women pounding cassava for the evening meal. And I found that when I joined any of these chat groups, I learned so many proverbs. So for me, what that means now is that I've come to understand that Proverbs is the open source knowledge platform of Africa. And we pass those knowledge from each other. We pass that through Proverbs from any person to any other. It's free access. Now, I've looked at some life hack sites, and I've tried out some things to see how the Proverbs would work in terms of the problems that I see people putting on these sites and looking for life hacks to sort them out. A life hack is something that can also just help you to readjust your emotions or to approach a problem from a different direction, or in fact, do it in a very new way. So here are some questions that I have found on these sites. And one question that I found on quite a few sites is, what do I do when I'm arguing with a person who doesn't want to stop arguing, who keeps repeating the same point over and over and over again, and they won't stop? How do I stop them? So the life hack, in terms of the proverb that I came up with, is this one. One who talks thinks. One who keeps silent thinks more. This proverb should be able to keep you at least calm and silent, and hopefully the other person will talk themselves to a full stop. If that doesn't work, there's another life hack that you can use. Answer not a man when he is too talkative, but remove yourself from him. Because, as another proverb tells us, an argument needs a second person. So if you're not there, the argument dies. So make your exit. Another question, life hack question that I found on the internet is that, how do I stop the habit of just sitting and thinking and thinking and thinking and not actually doing anything? And for that life hack, I have one from my own language, Bemba. And in my language, it sounds like this. Ichilafi chaimbile chishima, nenshukushala ponenamo. That basically means that procrastination dug a well and the days began to fall in. Now, that should all alert you to the fact that if you sit and do nothing, and you think and you don't act, you're actually wasting your life one day at a time. And hopefully this proverb should get you up and doing something that you need to do. Another one that I found quite commonly on the Lifehacks sites was this one. How do I deal with ungrateful people? If you do good to 100 people and none of them acknowledge it, no part of it is lost. This proverb should tell you that never let another person's actions devalue your own. When you have done something, you have done it. No part of it is lost, even if no one acknowledges it. Now, I'm a creative, I'm an artist, and so often I find I start new things and I don't even know how I'm going to do them, where to start, what do I do first? And sometimes I get frightened and I'm thinking, what if I fail? And I start feeling really, really lost. One life hack comes to me, and that one is from Tanzania. And that life hack basically says, to lose your way is one way of finding it. And so I take the next step. And if I really start getting frightened because some big challenge has come in my way, and I'm sitting there thinking, God, why? Why? Another life hack that I love from Ethiopia comes into play. And it says, do not blame God for having created the tiger. Thank him for having not given it wings. That immediately starts me counting all the advantages that I still have and that can help me outrun the challenge. The landscape that I talked about of my childhood, where I was in a village, my childhood village was filled with life-hacking proverbs, is something that is disappearing, fast disappearing from our landscape. And to share my love of proverbs and to perhaps try and regain that shifting landscape, I recently published a book on proverbs. The sales in the first week actually quickly told me that proverbs still have a great appeal for people, for a great many people. And when I think about it, although the proverbs of my childhood are disappearing from the village, I have seen that they have followed me to the city. And now I see these proverbs, I hear them. I see proverbs in adverts on billboards. I see them across the windscreen of minibuses. I see them on bumper stickers. I see them on t-shirts. Proverbs have even made their way into the recording studio and into the lyrics of our contemporary music. And now I hear them and enjoy them through hip-hop, reggae, dancehall, and rap. Proverbs have even found their way onto covers of books. Books like Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart is derived from a proverb. Now that it's election time, I'm hearing proverbs being appropriated by politicians in the hope of life hacking the ballot box. African literature, African poetry, African theater and film have been greatly enriched by proverbs. Now, when I look at the life hack sites, I see what are called life hack quotes. To me, these are really just new proverbs. They're new proverbs, and what is different for me is that I can actually attach a name to these new proverbs or life hacks. So I'm going to try out something with you and see if you can guess who said or who has created this new proverb. So Let me see if you've heard this proverb before. It's a new one. It is always impossible until it is done. Nelson Mandela. That's true. Nelson Mandela is the one who's created this new proverb. Here's another one. A man who makes trouble for others makes trouble for himself. Can you guess who said that? No? Can you guess who this is? Chinua Achebe, yes. And then there's the last one. If we knew the meaning of everything that is happening to us, then there would be no meaning. If we knew the meaning of everything that is happening to us, then there would be no meaning. Who do you think said this? Sorry? Not the Dalai Lama, no. Idi Amin. There's a proverb in all of us. So next time you hear a proverb, please treat it as a life hack to make your life more enjoyable, do something better, use it, share it, simply enjoy it, and above all, please create one of your own. Thank you.